There is such a creature in the world. It was discovered by a few people, but it has not been officially recognized. We call this creature the unidentified mysterious animal. Hello everyone, and welcome to the Unidentified Mysterious Animal series of videos. The deep sea is a world full of unknowns and dangers, but at the same time, it is also a place of miracles and discoveries. In the darkness, where even the sun cannot penetrate, lies the last secret of Earth. Maybe the lives that have not yet been discovered by humans are living in this endless abyss in incredible ways. Today, I want to share with you a story. In the mid-19th century, a creature was discovered. The deep sea star remains an enigma. The Deep Sea Star 4000 was a manned deep-sea submersible made by the U.S. West Wing Electric Company in 1965. During most of its service, it was used by the U.S. Navy for underwater exploration work. The name Deepsteria is derived from this submersible. On August 5, 1966, the chief operator of the 10th Shiwu Deep Sea Exploration Series submersible, Joe Thompson, along with Indian Ocean exploration pioneer Eugene Seychelles Lafont and his assistant Dale Good, followed their mothership to San Diego, about 5 miles south of Coronado Island, to conduct underwater exploration work. They were collecting biological distribution and temperature data from different water bodies. During this extraordinary underwater exploration, they encountered a huge, unknown fish. Perhaps fearing disbelief from others, they hesitated to report their findings. However, in 1967, half a year later, they were interviewed by American writer Paul Chimleys. In March of that year, Chimleys published Thompson's report in the form of a first-person narrative in the Submersible Series magazine. Here is the original report, with some corrections and a summary of the key content. I drove Deepsteria and gently landed at the bottom of the sea. The depth at this time was 4,000 feet underwater. I turned on the navigation light and started the ship to navigate the sea bottom. Even at this depth, the water was flowing slowly. The dark bottom of the sea looked like a vast desert, although it was not entirely barren. Every 10 minutes, we would see small marine creatures such as sea lizards, catfish, and other deep-sea life. We continued navigating to find a suitable observation site for Dr. Lafont. Soon, he pointed out the location. I prepared the instruments and allowed the ship to descend. I deployed the current and temperature detector, and Dr. Lafont began to read the data 2 or 3 minutes later. By this time, we had been at the bottom of the sea for about 15 minutes. As I was observing the equipment and timing devices, I suddenly noticed a huge gray shadow. At first, the visibility on the seabed was poor, and I thought it was a mudslide caused by the engine propeller, so I didn't pay much attention. But soon I saw a huge eye. Considering the distortion caused by refraction, I estimated the size of the eye to be the size of a plate, 5 to 7 inches in diameter, though it appeared much larger. In just a moment, I saw its stomach and chest, which were about 2 inches long. This fish had a mixed brown coloration, with its back, scales, and tail appearing gray. The creature was about 25 inches long and 5 to 6 inches wide. It looked very different from the deep-sea sharks I had read about before. The fish was covered in scales all over its body. The largest scales, near its head, were roughly the size of a coffee cup. The buoyancy of the water supports the weight of such marine animals. It's hard to imagine how big they can grow. But when I compared the fish I saw to the deep-sea shark we rode in, I realized how massive this creature was. I was suddenly filled with excitement and involuntarily exclaimed, "Look at this monster!" It all happened too fast for logical thought. At first, I thought it was a giant bass, but I quickly dismissed that idea. I have worked on the sea for many years and am familiar with common marine creatures. I knew you couldn't find a bass in the 4,000-meter deep ocean. This fish approached from the left side of the submarine, avoiding the areas illuminated by our lights. Although it swam naturally, its size gave me the impression of watching a long freight train. I could see the fish's scales and its thick tail clearly. Its tail was bent at a 30-degree angle, unlike the tail of a bass or a shark. It reminded me of a spearfish I had seen in a book, which is the closest comparison I can make. The whole encounter lasted about 8 to 9 seconds. We didn't have time to adjust the light or use the camera. Passed by only once. I had an impulse to maneuver the Deepsteria to capture its shadow, but as a trained deep-sea diver, I quickly abandoned the idea. Unfortunately, at a depth of 4,000 meters in the Pacific Ocean, I had encountered a sea beast but couldn't track it, photograph it, or share the experience with other crew members. Still, I believe that deep-sea expeditions or other submarines will eventually rediscover this special deep-sea resident. This was the diver Thompson's account. In subsequent interviews, Dr. Lafont also claimed to have seen the creature, though there was disagreement about its size. Thompson believed the fish to be about 40 inches long, while Dr. Lafont estimated it at no more than 30 inches. The position of the probe provided a relatively reliable reference for comparison. According to American cryptozoologist Jenad Sol, their live reactions were recorded in the submarine's audio system. However, these recordings are not available to us. John Isaacs, a famous American oceanographer, designed a deep-sea imaging device called the Monster Camera in the 1960s. Using a free navigation system, this camera greatly improved exploration and resource utilization. Until the 1970s, it was deployed in many seas, including those near North and South America, Africa, and Antarctica. The following two photos were taken off the coast of California and near the waters of Hawaii, at depths of 2,039 meters and 1,949 meters, respectively. Professor Isaacs estimated that the large fish in the images might reach lengths of 25 to 30 inches, especially in the first photo. According to the year-end record of the Monster Camera, the location of this photo should be on the edge of the San Diego Strait. It is very likely to be the giant fish seen by the Thompson team. American fisherman Carl Levitt Hobbs believes that the big fish in the picture may be a Pacific sandfish. Under the deep waters of 6,000 meters, the cold temperature provides these creatures with a habitat. The Pacific sandfish is a large, deep-sea predator mainly distributed in the North Pacific, Arctic, and Indian Oceans, inhabiting depths of 300 to 2,000 meters along the continental shelf and slope. From common crayfish to Pacific sandfish and kingfish, its diet expands as it grows larger. The largest Pacific sandfish found was 4.4 meters in length. Some unverified records suggest it can grow to 7 meters or longer. This size is close to the large fish observed by the Thompson team. Professor Hobbs believes the giant fish they saw may have been a large sandfish. If this conclusion is true, it might rank as the third largest sandfish ever recorded. However, this could also be a matter of conflicting records. In the wide marine art publication by Dr. Jenad Sol in 1970, it is noted that what Professor Hobbs referred to might actually be a Greenland sandfish. The average size of this species aligns more closely with the description from the incident. However, the Greenland sandfish's distribution range means it can only survive in colder waters. In fact, neither the Pacific sandfish nor the Greenland sandfish matches the descriptions provided by Dr. Thompson or Dr. Lavender. The above-mentioned fish lack the prominent large eyes and the huge scales described during the sighting. Thompson once said he thought it was a huge bass, which may suggest he saw a giant hard-scaled fish. American mystery writer Matt Bailey suggests this could be an undiscovered species of giant hard-scaled fish. These fish fall under the category of hard-scaled fish, which includes the largest vertebrate species among common fish. Their internal cartilage is an ancient structure with upper and lower symmetry. Under this classification, we can exclude the two largest vertebrate fish species previously recorded as the largest. However, the shape and features of this mysterious fish significantly differ from existing hard-scaled fish. Furthermore, these fish do not have scales, indicating they often live in shallow waters. The same applies to the giant hard-scaled fish. As the longest hard-scaled fish in the world, the giant hard-scaled fish is sometimes believed to be the inspiration for sea monster legends. However, in theory, this fish typically inhabits the upper to middle ocean, where it can access light. Its depth can reach up to 1,000 meters, which is still shallower compared to the depths described. The largest recorded hard-scaled fish, found in the deep sea 2,000 meters below Japan by Jamstek, was 2.5 meters in length. This suggests they may grow even larger. Currently, most online commentators believe the deep-sea starfish encountered this species. While its size differs from the 8 to 12 meters estimated by Thompson, as a species recently confirmed, there is still much room for research on hard-scaled fish. The most reasonable conclusion may come from a Reddit editor focused on zoological mysteries. In an article, the editor discussed how large-scale commercial fishing, banned in the 1980s, has not only drastically reduced fish populations but also disrupted the marine food chain. Large, deep-sea subspecies that once relied on hard-scaled fish for survival are becoming increasingly rare. They may remain undiscovered by humans or are now on the verge of extinction. The big fish encountered by the deep-sea starfish might be a large species teetering on the brink of extinction, or possibly the last of its kind. Speaking of hard-scaled fish, I have also mentioned in previous works how controversial this topic can be. On July 31st of this year, the Japan Aquaculture Agency officially decided to list long-lived starfish as commercial hard-scaled fish and plans to catch 59 in 2024. This decision has become one of the most controversial ecosystem issues. What makes this especially troubling is that the long-lived starfish is a common species and was only recently updated as a protected species by the World Natural Protection Alliance in 2018. This situation highlights the ongoing conflict between conservation and commercial interests. I believe that good and evil are ultimately rewarded or punished, though it may take time. Let's conclude the analysis of the mysterious big fish encountered by the deep-sea starfish. The mysteries of the sea are like an unfinished book. Every page is filled with unknown stories, and every page offers new mysteries waiting to be explored. The final thought is this: the unknown is always greater than the known. This is also the allure of unidentified mysterious animals. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.